Actually, this is Alex Smith from America Rising.
I'm so sorry. They told us Mark Lauder was going to be joining us. I apologize.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, that's okay. No. It's even we get it. So tell us what's happening from your perspective. What is the potential for this shutdown and what next?
There's a lot going on in Washington. So, look, I think that when we're talking about the shutdown, it's important to remember 2013. Remember the last time we were kind of on the brink. And if my memory serves me right, and when I checked the video archives, Democrats were absolutely apoplectic about the idea of a government shutdown. I mean, Chuck Schumer said that it would lead to governmental chaos. Nancy Pelosi, a lot of the people that you see right now were vehemently against it and coming up with all of this sort of like hyperbole about why it was bad. And only to have them now in 2018, when their party isn't in the White House, when they're attempting to take back the Senate and the House in the midterm elections this year, to have them turn around and to try to shut down the government for political purposes, I think really just exposes them for the DC swamp creatures that they are.
The issue here for us is what it seems to me to be is they're setting up the straw man that the Republicans are not protecting the Dreamers, or this DACA protection is not going to be in there, which we all know is not true. The Republicans have been working on this since the president signed the executive order rescinding DACA, giving them 6 months. So are they just setting up a straw man here to try to say the Republicans aren't doing anything and it's their job to protect them when we still have until March to get something done?
Oh, they absolutely are. They're using these poor kids as a bargaining chip. And when you think about that, that's very sad. I mean, most Americans support allowing the Dreamers to stay in this country, allowing the DACA recipients to stay in this country, because, in America, we don't believe that you should be punished for the sins of your parents. But, as you mentioned, the deadline for that doesn't come up until March. And so for Democrats to be throwing all of their leverage right now behind, getting some kind of immigration, package included with this government shutdown aversion, I think really just shows that they're trying to take one of the most divisive issues in the country, put it, front and center, and potentially putting our government on the brink of shutdown to do it.
What's frustrated me a little bit about the Republicans in the House and the Senate on this is that explaining to the American people that the Dreamers are going to be protected. That's going to be a piece of any legislation. But the problem the Democrats have is they don't want to have to deal with further border security, visa reform, or getting rid of chain migration. They don't want to deal with that. And the way to force them to deal with it is to put this in the bill while the Republicans have the majority. Why are the Republicans not fighting for this, or at least spelling that out to the American people?
Well, look, I mean, I think that right now they're, what Paul Ryan and what Mitch McConnell are thinking about is they don't want the government to shut down. And that deadline is tonight at midnight. But as you mentioned, the president was quite insistent that we would deal with DACA. He wants to protect the DACA recipients, as do Republicans in Congress. However, the president and Republicans in Congress want to pair that with strong border security. So what I'm hoping will happen tonight is that they'll be able to pass some kind of continuing resolution that keeps the government open, and then we deal with this immigration issue out in the open without it being, hitched to this, very volatile and very immediate pressing concern, so that people can really see the debate unfold. Because I think once that happens, what the Democrats don't want the American people to see is that not only are the Republicans supportive of having the Dreamers stay in the country, but they're also supportive of strong border security. Those are two things that are winners with the American people, not just Republicans, but independents too. And those are the independents that they're going to have to capture back in the 2018 midterms if they have any chance of succeeding. So what they want to do right now is they want to sort of muddy the waters by attaching it to this continuing resolution. And I think you're right. I think it obscures, the argument for border security, which Americans are also supportive of, and Democrats look inherently unreasonable on when they won't even come to the table to deal with it.
Well, Alex, I appreciate the time and joining us for a few minutes and giving us some perspective on it. And we're hoping against hope that something gets done tonight. We don't want to be dealing with a shutdown come Monday morning when we hit the airwaves again. So we appreciate the time as always.
Absolutely. Anytime.
All right. Thanks.